What's up guys, it's Wayne from GamerGab. I've always been a fan of the Dragon Age series. Not so much the squad-based aspect because micromanaging my companion's attacks makes the combat slow to a crawl and at this point it might as well be turn-based. But the stories and characters have always been top-notch. So, when Veilguard was announced, I was excited. That excitement quickly turned to dread when all the negative press started coming out about it, about how bad the writing was, about how agenda-driven it was. So, with a heavy heart, I decided to sit this one out, and I did. Until it showed up for free on Game Pass recently. So, I downloaded it with the intention to rage play it, and then trash it in my review. But does it really deserve all the hate? Let's get into it.
GamerGab.
Go!
Like I said, I started this game expecting to hate it, nay, wanting to hate it. Because let's face it, negative reviews are more fun to write and more fun to watch. But Veilguard surprised me. First, they kept the lore from the previous titles. This isn't a reboot. There are series regular characters returning for this game that are true Dragon Age OGs, like Morrigan and Varric, and I really enjoyed seeing them show up in this title. I found all the characters to be pretty well written and sympathetic. In fact, I'd say I actually liked all the main characters in this game, and I was interested in learning more about their backstories and motivations through their different quest lines. All of the companion character quest lines were well written and interesting. The only quest line I avoided completely was the Hall of Valor because that's an arena and arena style combat just doesn't really interest me. Now about the gameplay. The game looks great. The combat is smooth and super polished. The only bug I experienced was on 2 occasions when an area loaded in with invisible walls that blocked access to areas that should have been accessible. The walls blocked me, but they also blocked companions and enemies alike. Other than that, the game ran smoothly. Most of the controversy I saw surrounding this game centered on a character named Tosh, a character who's struggling with her gender identity amidst a looming apocalypse. I say her because she started out the game being referred to as female, though that changes later if you choose to pursue her questline. Like a lot of gamers, I totally agree that modern social issues don't really have any business showing up in a medieval fantasy game. That's not to say that social issues are new to Dragon Age. The previous titles touched on inequality, classism, and racism in ways that made sense within the lore, but the concept of gender identity seems out of place in this context, especially when the character in question isn't even human. That said, I did actually like Tosh. Her character was funny and endearing, and seeing her struggle to find her place apart from her own culture was interesting and well executed. What I mean to say is that her character would have been just as effective had the issue of her being non-binary been left out of the game altogether. There was also a clip that got a ton of media attention where an NPC goes on a rant about how you should do push-ups to punish yourself for misgendering someone, because even genuine apologies are just too self-serving.
What if they mean it when they say they're sorry, though?
And that's the other reason. Some people mess up and get all dramatic. They make it about them. Oh, you know, I didn't mean it right. I'd never do that on purpose. They feel so bad about it that it's on everyone else to smooth it over and make them feel better.
Because nothing says this isn't about me like drawing attention to yourself by doing push-ups in a social setting. That scene is so far removed from the style of the rest of the game that I can't help but think that it was written by someone with an axe to grind. But it really is a one-off as far as the rest of the game goes. The only real tragedy in this game is what the devs did with the Qunari. The world of Dragon Age is populated by several different species of humanoids. There's the fantasy classic, humans, elves, and dwarves, but there's also the Qunari. They're big, powerful, and aggressive, and they have these cool horns. This image shows a comparison between the Qunari design from Dragon Age 2 and from Veilguard. Dragon Age 2 Qunari's name is Ivan. He does bare-knuckle boxing just to relax. He took on that gorilla that those other 100 guys were fighting, and he actually won. He's what Cardi B meant by security heavy. Veilguard's Qunari's name is Greg. He works in HR and does Pilates at the Y. He also enjoys gentle parenting and kale. I mean, really, what is this? I think this game was ultimately a victim of its own marketing combined with gamers' fatigue with modern social issues. Games, especially fantasy games, are meant to be an entertaining escape. But when you log into a game and immediately get hit with the same rhetoric that you get on social media, or are made to feel like you're watching a TED Talk, then it's not an escape. It's just more of the same, and that's just not what the majority of gamers are looking for. As a Dragon Age fan from the beginning, I'm glad I gave this game a shot. I think it was on par with the other Dragon Age titles. The story and characters were great with the exception of some optional content. And the game isn't as progressive as devs and the media made it out to be. If you're a Dragon Age fan but passed on this game because of what you heard about it, it might be worth another look. Anyway, what did you guys think? Did you enjoy Veilguard or did you avoid it because of the negative press? Let me know in the comments. As always, GamerGab is powered by Conway Corp high-speed internet service. I'm Wayne, and I'll see you next time on GamerGab.
GamerGab. Ready.